Yeah, so hello everyone. Once again, you're welcome to FTGFs Lounge. And what we always do is that we reach out to experienced guys in the trading industry, financial market trading industry, to share with us the experiences, some of the things that happens behind stage. And then we also traders, because most of the time we do think that brokers are robbing us of our money, blah, 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 all of that. Until myself, I started working with a broker, I got to understand a few things. So today we have with us James Bentley. The name, I like the
Hey,
Bentley. Ben, please come again.
said, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I like your name, especially the Bentley. Yeah, the
I
Bentley
get that
part of
often
it.
actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So he is a founder of financialmarketsonline.com, and what they basically do is they are into education, train people how to understand the market, trade, safely. The reason why I'm into education and all of that is when I was starting in somewhere 2014, I didn't have there were not a lot of things online like YouTube and all. So I was doing a try and error on my own, which I blew accounts. But as I kept going, somebody introduced me to an institution online where I got training. So I got to understand that education and capital plays key role in order to become a successful trader. So Bentley, before we even delve more into your projects and all, I know you've heard of this popular quote, education is key to success. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right.
100%.
Right.
And
How
I
does
think
that
this,
how does that apply to trading? Can you share with us? Yeah.
yeah, well, look, I mean, a lot of new traders would be fully aware of the quote that 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital in their first 90 days. And it's completely true. We
Okay.
deal with a vast portion of retail clients. That's everyday people with normal jobs looking to generate a secondary income. On
Right.
average in the UK, we meet 400 to 500 new clients per month. And
Okay.
anyone prior to coming to us may have fallen in that category. And
Okay.
I put it down to three main reasons. One, as you just rightly said, undereducated. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a career which people don't realize. It's a profession. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's far easier to lose money than it is to make money.
Right.
So once somebody understands that, I don't know, a doctor will train for 10 years to be at an elite level, a teacher would train for 4 years to be at the highest level. Trading's a profession that gives you the highest paycheck. So it's not going to happen overnight. The new traders need to get educated and treat this as an apprenticeship, shall we say.
Right.
So I would say undereducated. The second one is underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
Why that is because if you look at some of the world's leading banks,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I mean, you look at Morgan Stanley last year, that one of their FX desks turned over 24% in the year, and that was coming back of a loss last year. So
Okay.
if some of the world's largest banks are only achieving 24%, the guy on Instagram, the guy on Instagram that's doing 100% a day, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they'd be ringing him and saying, "Mate, there's 10 billion. Go on, big balls. Go make some money." So
Right.
it's honestly impossible. What happens is a new trader will put $500 into a trading account,
Mm-hmm.
and by the end of the month, they might make $50. Now,
Right.
that new trader is saying, "What the hell? $50 isn't going to change my life." But
Right.
what they don't realize is that's 10%. And 10% is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So they go, "Oh, $50 is rubbish. I'll over risk this time." And then off
Everything
they go.
goes. Yes.
Yeah. And the third one is lack of support and guidance. This one of the
Okay.
key attributes for a new trader is having the ability to adapt to sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't got someone that's experienced on your shoulder saying to you, "Look, the markets are so sideways, just sit on your hands, don't trade," or
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's saying, "Everything's moving, now's the time to fill your boots up." If you
Right.
haven't got that guidance, then you're not going to know when to adapt to conditions. So I would put education into those three categories, if that makes sense.
Right. Yes. Which makes perfect sense. And like you rightly said, the guy or maybe the new trader sees someone online, and then the person says or claims that he is an educator. So the person shows the new trader few indicators, and then the influencer or the educator, quote unquote, says that okay, you can flip $10 to $1,000 and all of that. Me as a new trader, I wouldn't know if this guy is the right person to educate me, because all that I need is money. So how would you being in a trading and training education space, how would you describe a good educator, somebody that new trader can learn from? Because it's not easy for new traders to reach out to people like you who can be honest and all of that, because almost everybody is on YouTube, TikTok and all of that, and that is where we have people saying can flip $10 to $1,000. What are the checklist, or what are the things you would like to tell new traders to look out for when they are looking out for good educators?
I mean, the most obvious one is asking them for a track record. So can you show me some verified results?
Okay.
I mean, even 12 months is fine because the market's ever changing. So minimum 12 months. Can you just show me some consistent track records? Now, I don't want new traders to be greedy. If someone's doing a couple of % a month, it's consistent. And that's what you want. You don't want a roller coaster ride of someone making 30%, losing 10%. So just a few % a month consistency. But the most important thing to look for is the drawdown. Okay. So what drawdown is at any given moment of that trader's live trading experience, what's the maximum negative balance they had at one given moment. Now, you want to keep that 10% and below. So if someone can show you, and 10% is a lot, most of my traders work on a 5% guideline.
Right.
If you look at someone, they're achieving a few % a month, and historically the max drawdown's 10%, they should be good. So that's first step. That's the first hurdle. Then you want to look for accreditations, and you might want to search the guy on LinkedIn. So see what their history is, how long they've been trading. My experience of trading come from working in the bank. So I started I was 16 in 2009, and I spent 4.5 years in one of the largest UK trading floors. So you want to see if anyone's got credibility that they've actually dealt on the frontline dealing desk and taken positions on the front line. I know a lot of successful traders that I've taught over the years, or friends in the industry that haven't worked in banks that still make a fortune. But if anyone's got banking experience, they're going to know how the financial markets operate at a professional level, which makes the transition to retail a lot easier. So you want to look at the history of the trader, but most importantly, you just want to see if you like them as a person. If you're going to commit financially, if you're going to commit time, if you're looking for a career change, you need to make sure that you like them, you like the way they teach, they explain things easily, on top of their track record. You want to spend time with them. In the UK, and we have another trading floor here in Dubai, which is where I am now, we have an open door policy, which means at any given minute, without a booking, you can come and watch traders trade. So people can rock up and just go, let me see if this guy can make money in front of my eyes. And if he does, I'm going to believe it's possible. So transparency is the biggest thing there.
Okay. Which a lot of traders, like you said, flaunting money online might not have. I wouldn't say all. No. Might not have maybe track records of that. So
I'll give you an example. Out here, you can rent a Lamborghini for about $600. So these kids rent a Lamborghini or whatever, Ferrari, whatever car you like, take loads of photos that in all different clothes, and they post them for the next 6 months, making it look like they've got a Lamborghini. And with the world, when we're in 2025, the world's dividing. The rich and the poor divide's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So as poverty increases globally, people want this get-rich-quick scheme. How can I get a lifestyle that I've always dreamt of? And they fall for the trap of this guy that's on a beach trading for Lamborghini and blah, 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 blah. 90% of the time it's not possible. And I know a trader who's got a very, very expensive car, and he would dare put it on Instagram. Dare put it on Instagram. And this is someone I know, he makes about $200K a month from trading on average. And he's the most humble, quietest. I don't want to share my lifestyle. I'm a trader, and that's my career. It's my job. Why am I going to share my job online? So it's that trap, isn't it, of people aiming for a lifestyle that they always believe they want and achieve, but don't know how to get there.
Exactly. And there's also a popular saying that you can't give what you don't have. So you being a founder of a training institute, what that simply tells me is that maybe you've been through the mill. So you've been trading, and then you've got to know what the challenges are, which then maybe motivated you to set up an institution like that. We'd like you to take us through your journey. What got you attracted to trading, how you started till now, before we now get into your company.
Yeah. So I've got a long list of family in the industry. Even to this day, I have a godfather who's very, very high up on the institutional G7 desk. I have family members, uncles that are still trading at a professional elite level. One's trying to retire, but they won't let him retire as a contractor. So I've always had people in and around me that have been in the financial markets. Back then, so I started in 2009. It was very, very different to how it is now. So in London in particular, if you want to go and work for Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan, you have to run through internships. So internships will be, you leave school, you go to, you get a placement in a university, and after your first year of university, if you're in the top percentage, you'll get internships, which are like summer internships, and you might go and do like a week's trial on a desk, and they'll test you and they'll put you to the limits, and they might invite you back the following year, and the following year after that, they'll offer you a job. So a lot of the big banks have connections to like Oxford University, Cambridge University. So the top 1% automatically go to the bank. Back then, when I was coming through, I never went to university. I left school at 15. And I went, my birthday's August, so I was 16, and then I went to work. And back then it was very much who you knew rather than what you know. So now you have to be real clever to get in there, and the turnover of stuff's high because they're not caliber of traders. But back in then it was who you knew. So everybody on the trading floor had a relationship. Somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, somebody's daughter's boyfriend, and that's how the city was built. It really, really was. So there was always a connection to get you in. So the largest amount of people was over 650 traders in all different desks on one big floor, over 2 floors, but with huge floors. And everyone was related somehow. It was very weird. Now, so I started there in 2009. I'd done 4.5 years there. I spent time on equity research. I spent time on the short-term interest rate desk. I spent time on the risk desk. FX wasn't a massive product back then. FX, there was a smaller desk for FX, but it was mainly equities in my eyes.
Yeah, quick one before you even move on. So what you got you into that space has got to do with relationships, or you genuinely wanted to work in a banking or financial sector, how? What was the trigger? Yes.
It was more so that I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew the wealth that trading and financial markets, back then you're called money brokers essentially back then. So what money brokering can bring. I have a family friend who is probably one of the wealthiest guys that I know. And as a kid, we used to go to Marbella in his holiday home. And as you get a bit older, like 13, 14, you know what a nice car is. He had a G-Wagon that he only used to he had jet skis on Banús, and he had a G-Wagon just to put the inflatables in, to go drive down to the seaside. And then he had a Ferrari, and when you're like 13, 14, you know what nice things are.
Yes.
So I was like, how on earth has this guy got this huge house, a Ferrari, a Mercedes G-Wagon just to put inflatables in to drive to the beach? It was like, the wealth was insane. And you think about silly things back then. Right. And he was head of risk, and he was head of European debt for one of the world's largest banks. And I always knew, his bonuses were millions every quarter, millions of pounds every quarter.
Wow.
And that was a bit of an inspiration to me to go, do you know what the hell does this guy do? I knew he was in banking. I just thought he worked for a bank. But as I got older, I understood the position, the weight, I understood the power that he has. And these guys are moving hundreds of millions a day, literally. So that gave me the inspiration. But then it was more of a natural fall because I'd done an internship the summer before for work experience. And I just sat there and I didn't do much, but I felt like I'd been put into the jungle. I was 14 years old, and they threw me in the deep end on a trading floor.
Ah.
I spent the week like getting coffees and getting dry cleaning out and just being
Yeah.
terrorized, if I'm honest.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but the environment was crazy. So I've always
Okay.
been into sports. I love football and I love like the changing room banter, like the boys together and messing around and whatever. And it was very much like that on the trading floor. It was work and lots of money, but it was also like everyone was having fun. It was a crazy
Okay.
environment. Like, so I loved the environment, and that's kind of how it entered. I got the opportunity to work for one of the world's leading intermediaries at the time, and they
Mm-hmm.
used to facilitate trades for hedge funds, for banks, for large
Okay.
corporations, family
Oh,
offices, and that's how I entered the world of trading. So
wow.
I was there from 16 till about 2021.
Okay.
And then a few of the senior guys raised 9 figures and set up a boutique hedge fund. And
Okay.
that's when I first started dealing FX. So that
Oh,
was about 21. I was actually physically taking trades as part. I had a risk portion of a fund, and that was when I really started to put my theory to practice.
okay. So when you were at the floor, it was just theory, or you were practically trading.
You do a little bit, but
Okay.
how it works, here's a little bit of an insight. So being a retail trader,
Mm-hmm.
you do what I call a 360 roll. You have to
Okay.
analyze,
Okay.
research, analyze, plan, execute, manage risk, close your trade, and journal.
Okay.
That's what one person does.
Okay.
In a bank, you have a risk team who manage the risk. You have
Mm-hmm.
an execution team, you have a research team. So you
Mm-hmm.
might have 6 or 7 people doing the job that we do as a one-man band.
Yes.
So the reason for that is because when you're trading 50 million, 100 million, whatever it may be for the bank, you need to be emotionless.
Yes.
So your job is my job might be the researcher. So I do my research and I pass to you. I don't care what happens next.
Yes.
And if you're the guy that takes the trade, you take the trade, you pass it to the risk team. Next trade, please. So you had, because you're doing like a one task, you don't have emotions to the money.
Exactly.
Whereas what me and you do, we have to do everything, and we have emotions involved.
Exactly.
So you kind of pass jobs down a chain to take trades, or you'll be trading on behalf of clients, so you won't have that emotional barrier or attachment. So
Yes.
I
Okay.
wasn't dealing intensively. It was only when I went to the boutique fund where
Okay.
I got given a portion of the money. They said, James, crack on, see what you can do.
How was it
Yeah.
like? How was your first? How was your first trade like? How was your first loss like? How did you react to it?
I mean, I'd taken trades for a while, so when I went there, I just had more. I was more independent, shall we say?
Okay.
I was left to do what I was there to do. But like as we know, in the game, psychology plays a huge part, right?
Right.
Now, the reason I have such a large trading team is because we hire traders that are better than myself or my partner in certain areas. Now,
Right.
I can't relate to people in regards to the psychology of trading because when I started trading, I was trading somebody else's money. And so I didn't really care what, it wasn't my money. I could go home every night and my bank would stay the same.
Right.
So I don't have that psychology emotions that retail traders do. And by the time I started trading my own money, I was already good at what I was doing. So I never had the huge
Encountered.
losses that new traders have because I'd practiced with. I mean, at one point we was trading a 50 million pot, and I had the lion's share of the risk on it. So it was always somebody else's money before my money.
Right.
So when somebody comes to me and says, James, the psychologist's beating me up, I just say, I'm not your man.
Yeah. I know.
Yes. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have guys that are professional psychologists that help our students and work with them on a one-to-one basis to encourage them through those emotions. But yeah, for me,
Oh. Okay.
I'm not the man for that.
So now that you've told about your journey, now you are into trading yourself. What then informed you to now move to training or the education bit of it?
Yeah, so from 2014, 15, 16, I was just trading myself. I
Okay.
built up a managed fund. that had some large investors involved, friends, connections, family members, referrals, and I was just trading my own capital plus the fund.
Okay.
In 2016, I started hosting live trading events.
Okay.
Now, what happened was back then there was three main brokers in the industry. So January 2015 was the Swiss National Bank stunt. If you look at a chart of Euro Swiss in January 2015, you'll see in one morning, Monday morning, there was a 2,500 point move to the downside.
Wow.
And
I'll check that. Yeah.
What happened was, if you think about levels, so Euro Swiss was pegged at 120, so 1.2000. And what that meant was that the Swiss National Bank, if you think about where Switzerland is positioned in Europe, the Switzerland said, we will always be better than the euro. So the price was 120. For every €1, in exchange, you get 120 Swiss franc.
Right.
Now, if you look at the chart, it was a solid baseline, a floor. Price was just sitting on it tightly.
Okay.
Over the weekend, the Swiss National Bank done something they said they'd never do. They pulled the plug and they allowed price to summit below 120.
Whoa.
So price dropped 2,500 points on a Monday morning. Now, it actually took from January 15, it took to April 2018 to recover that move. So in a Monday morning drop, 3 years to recover it. And it actually come back to 120 and then dropped again. So what happened with that is it was unexpected, and a lot of the brokers in the industry was wiped out because they never thought it was going to happen. I support West Ham, the football team, and at the time we were sponsored by Alpari, which is an FX broker. Well, they actually went bust back then because of the Swiss National Bank disaster. So there was three main brokers. You had IG Index, FXCM, and Saxo Bank. They were the three main brokers back then. Now you have thousands, right? There's brokers at every street corner.
A lot.
Loads. But they all stem from the three main brokers. So what I was doing is I was hosting live events. So what would happen is the broker, and we've done a lot with Saxo Bank, the broker would come in and say, James, I'm going to get 100 of our clients in a room. I want you to teach them a strategy and take live trades. So I built up a very good reputation for being pretty much the only person that would stand at the front of a class and take live trades. Because if I was to take 10 trades and lose 10 trades, my reputation would be over. People think, who the hell is this guy? He's rubbish. Right. So I built up a good reputation doing it, and I loved doing it, which was important to me. And then what I saw, and I worked for a couple of other education companies and a few other people, and what I saw was there was a huge gap in the market for regulated education, which a lot of people think you can't do, which you can. Credibility. So I used my experience from the professional trading world to bring in traders that have been trading for 30 years, 25 years for some of the world's largest banks. So I handpicked a dream team to teach of people that have been on the front line trading hundreds of millions for the bank. So someone that can actually say, I've been a real trader before. And at an affordable price. So in 2018, I set up the education arm of the business at Financial Markets Online with one of my partners who's been trading for a long time with me in certain trading floors as well. And we set up, and I think that was April 2018. And we're now the largest trader training institution in UK parts of Europe and now in the UAE. And since that time, we've got over 50 staff in the UK and a few staff here in the UAE. We have over 200 funded traders that are consistently trading profitably, ranging from 15,000 up to 2 million on a profit share basis. And we've got loads of contractors of guys that, as I say, have got 25, 30 years experience and are actually nice people to say, hey, I'm free on Tuesday, let me come and help you out. So it's just, we built an edge in the industry of credibility of people that have been doing this a long time, affordability, and access to a live trading floor environment, so you're not learning from home in your bedroom.
So,
and I think,
Yeah. So
Go
looking
on,
at
mate.
looking at this, like you said, people think, I mean, having an educational or online or trading educational institution well structured, people feel is impossible. Why do you think people find it difficult to approach institutions like yours as compared to guys on TikTok on Instagram? Why do you think that happens?
Um, Two reasons.
Okay.
In fact, the main reason is that people want to get rich quick. And in every human, there is some sort of something inside them that's an element of greed. And
Right.
when they've had a bad day at work or their wife's annoying them, they say, how the hell can I get out of this situation and get rich quick?
Exactly.
And as soon as they go onto TikTok, they see an 18-year-old boy that says, I've got 20 years trading experience, which is not possible. And they see his car and he's rented Airbnb, and they say, right, that's what I want. I want a car, I want a new wife, and I want a new apartment. And they
Right.
and they fall for the trap, shall we say? But
Mm-hmm.
what happens after that is people, and in trading, beginner's luck is a real thing.
Okay.
And what happens is someone might put $500 into a trading account, and they might make $2,000 in their first ever day.
Ah,
So they say
yeah.
this is how easy it is. This is the potential I've got. Oh my God, tomorrow I'm going to make another 2K. And obviously, as we said at the start, they blow all the money. And
Yes.
then
At the end.
what happens is they say, do you know what? I didn't know what I was doing, but I somehow made $2,000. So I need to learn how to do this properly.
Okay.
And that's when they come to somebody like us.
And to come to somebody like you once again, what I have experienced is that most of the time they blow the money elsewhere, and when they come to you, I don't know for your end, but like in my space here, it's like they want the education for free instead of paying for. Have you
Yeah.
encountered such situations in your?
We do get that, yes. But the problem is that they're the wrong type of people that we want working with us, because everybody needs to know, as I said, this is a profession. And
Right.
to go to university, you might pay $30,000 for 4 years. Well, because we've got the experience and we've been teaching a long time, we can shorten the length of a new trader becoming successful, because we
Right.
avoid them making the same common mistakes.
Mistakes. Yes.
So someone's got to pay for that experience if they want the wealthy ending. What we do, and I only done this because I had a very close family friend lose $5,000, well, more than $5,000 learning to trade. Now,
Wow.
the lady was my friend's mother, and she wanted to learn how to trade, but she didn't
Okay.
want to come to me without knowing the basics. So she thought,
Okay.
I'm not gonna annoy James. I'm gonna learn the basics, and I'm gonna go to James with questions. And that was
Oh.
her reason. So what she stupidly done is she spent 5K on a beginner's program, and then
Okay.
they asked her to put another 5K into her trading account, which she lost 2K or 2.5K of. So she pretty much lost £7,500.
Yes.
Went to a course, didn't like the people teaching. They said it was one big sales pitch, and then
Right.
she didn't get any support, any guidance, and she found it complicated. And then she come to me, and I said, "You are crazy. You've just lost £7,500, and you don't even know if you like trading."
Yes.
So what we've done is we built our program called our Fast Track Trading Program. So
Okay.
we actually offer 90 days completely free of charge. Now,
Oh.
this consists of an online course, which I created, webinars every day, so you can watch someone
Okay.
trade, learn
Okay.
their habits, their routines, a Telegram group with analysis, updates, news, everything else, charts,
Okay.
3 coaching sessions. So you can actually come to
Okay.
the trading floor and have a coaching session, or you
Okay.
can do it online via Zoom, remotely, whatever. And
Okay.
access to an event in Europe, UK, and UAE, if anyone's in
Okay.
those regions.
Okay.
All of this is completely free for 90 days,
90 days. Okay.
only if they show us some sort of commitment by trading
Okay.
real money. You can't trade a demo account. So
Okay.
as long as they can show me, do you know what, James? I'll take the free education, and here I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll show you I'm serious. I'll trade
Okay.
with real money so I can beat the emotional barrier early. Then
Okay.
we give them 90 days completely free. And that's their chance to understand if they like trading or they don't like trading without
Okay.
paying for education.
Okay. Which makes perfect sense, because sometimes you put in all the energy, try to help the person out with the education, and then the person just vanishes like with nothing
Waste
coming
of
in.
time.
Which, yes. Now with the funding, I would also, because we mentioned that to become a successful trader, like you rightly said, you need good education, you need good funding. How how would you advise newbies to go about funding? Is it with prop firms, or they saving money, or trading for friends, and all? How would you advise in that
Prop,
space?
in my eyes, in my opinion, and I've obviously taken a different route to many, but
Okay.
prop firms are only good if a trader knows how to make money. Because
Okay.
what happens is a new trader's unsuccessful, and rather than losing their own money, they're losing prop money, but they still have to pay for that service.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say you've got to get some sort of consistency first. And actually,
Yes.
it's quite easy to become consistent if you're trading like an end of day strategy. You might
Okay.
only get 5 or 6 reversal opportunities per month.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't got room to go crazy because you've
Yes.
only got 5 or 6 trades a month. So yes, you need
Yes.
to be patient for that style.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that way, after 3 or 4 months, you can show consistency and then say, do you know what? I'm not overdoing it. I'm not over trading. I'm not over risking. I'll then go and try a prop firm. But a
Okay.
new trader just paying $500 for a 100K prop account, or whatever it may be, is just probably going to lose it or blow it. And some of them have got such tight restrictions as well.
Yes.
It's pointless in my eyes.
So then, how do the new trader? Because you said capital plays a key role, or funding plays a key role. Me as a new trader, I want to trade. How do I go about raising funds? How?
Well, you start by showing consistency first.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
proved yourself you're actually going to stick with this and do this properly.
Mm-hmm.
And in my eyes, I mean, look, the entry barrier is very low, but in
Okay.
my eyes, I tell people the minimum is $500 because
Okay.
if you can raise $500 to trade with, and you trade
Mm-hmm.
at a 1% risk module, meaning that every losing
Five.
trade is going to be no greater than $5.
Yeah.
That way, you can live with that.
Okay.
And if your gains are going to be 5, 10, 15, $20, you're playing small, but you're proving to yourself you can follow rules, be disciplined, and do it right.
Exactly.
And then when you start to feel like you're getting bored of this, oh, I'm making $5 is rubbish, that's when you make the transition to, okay, I need prop money, I need investments, I'll use my
Okay.
own money.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, you need to work on your consistency, let's say your mindset, the habit part of it, before you now move into looking out for big capitals and all. James,
Exactly.
before we bring this session to a close, we'd like you to share with us your recent projects, your upcoming projects, and your company. Tell us more
Yeah,
about it. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. So yeah, we're our education side is financial markets online. So
Mm-hmm.
we specialize in trader training programs from a beginner to an advanced level.
Yeah.
One of our regulated education products is Ofcall backed, which is UK government, and we have KHDA approval here in UAE. And it's a
Okay.
level 5 advanced diploma in financial trading. It's the
Okay.
highest regulated education in the industry, and it's
Oh.
equivalent to a British degree. So I can get a degree and a level 7, a master's qualification in financial trading. So
Wow.
if anybody's looking for a stepping stone to get into the banking world but didn't go to university, this is the cheat code to get you ahead of everybody else.
Okay.
So this is only come from our experience of being in and around the bank, the industry, and being in and around people that have been doing this at an elite professional level, that we've got this connection.
Right.
And all of our education has an end goal. Whether you get funded by us and you create your own hedge fund, your own career in the financial markets,
Okay.
you get qualified, so you go and work for a bank knowing that you've got practical experience,
Okay.
or we employ you. We
Okay.
have a large amount, as I say, over 200 contractors that are either trading our capital or part of the firm.
Mm-hmm.
If we find someone that's got talent, passion, ambition, and we feel like we can work with them, then we'll employ them for them to share their stories and experience with all
Okay.
new traders coming through the ranks.
Okay.
Sometimes someone like me is unrelatable. I started in 2009. We're now in
Yes.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my best coaches, Obi, and I've got another coach, Cameron. They both started with zero experience with us.
Okay.
Now, they're 5 or 6 years deep now, and they trade at an elite level. So that's
Okay.
someone with zero trading experience, but showed hunger that we've transformed. Now they both trade a very, very large amount of money, and they trade it successfully too. So
Okay.
those guys are more relatable than me, because 5 years ago, they was in a newbie's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have those guys all the way up to guys that are in their 60s that have been doing this for 30 years. So
Right.
take your pick. You're going to find someone you can relate with.
Right.
And they're going to be your mentor because you like them, you understand them, you engage with them, and you hold each other accountable.
Right.
If you're not making money, it's their fault. If you're making money, it's their gain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how you've got to play it. So the projects we're working on is kind of just dominating now. So from the UAE, we're going to move into Qatar, and then we're going to move across the GCC into Saudi Arabia. And our
Okay.
plan is to set up live trading floors all across the globe. So as we move across the globe, we're going to be hiring and recruiting new traders.
Okay.
Funny enough, my partner Sam spent a lot of time in Ghana. He run educational courses there before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah. So
Okay.
they done a tour of
Interesting.
Africa. So lots of time in South Africa, but they done Kenya, Ghana, Zambia, Nigeria, but they done it multiple times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I was about even saying when you said you are looking forward to open like have offices globally. I was about saying then you need to consider Ghana, because there are a lot of traders here who also need
Yeah,
education.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of good friends who are originally from Ghana. They always say that
Oh.
to me as well.
Ah,
Yeah, but
right.
the only thing is Kenya's just a little bit ahead on the list for us, but maybe
Yeah.
you can change our mind.
We can.
Yeah,
All right, James.
good
Thank you very
stuff.
much for joining us today. We really like this insightful conversation, and we are looking forward to come back to you again to have more conversations.
Anytime.
Since education doesn't end in this space, we'd like to get back to you again and learn more from you. Thank you very much.
We'll come out to Ghana and do it live,
We
and we'll
will.
do some live trading as well.
Right. That would be great. Thank you very
Good
much,
stuff.
James.
Take care. Yeah. See you
All
soon,
right.
buddy.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.